Welcome back. If this is your first time here on this channel and you experience any kind of issues with playback, please check out the link in the description to my mirrored account on BitChute.com, redpill_McKenzie. Now, in today's video, we're picking up where we left off. We're now in week 4 plus of October 2018 with the high-level resignations. Talking CEOs, CFOs, COOs, heads of state, police chiefs, you name it. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's a new week until, well, we catch up. But real quick, where do I get the names from? I get them from a site called resignation.info, maintained by Resignation Anon. And despite the meme I just showed you, there are actually a lot of good people on this list. Not everyone on this list is a bad person, even though there have been quite a few of those, but even still, not everyone's going to be indicted. Go ahead, check out the link to the indictments if you haven't seen it already. There's also a little feature where you can report resignations. Anything that hasn't been on the list since September 2017, or if it's just brand new, go ahead, put the link to that article, submit it. Once it's been verified, it'll be added to the list. Now get this, if it's new and notable, chances are you're going to see it on the next resignation show. Every other Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. German time, with the next show being on March 31st, and it's hosted on a channel called In Real Life News. I'll put the link to their channel in the description. That way you can catch the next show. But if you're already here on the website, it doesn't matter. Go ahead, go to the Resignation Show tab, link up with In Real Life News there, or catch up on any of the episodes you may have missed along the way. But now that those bases are covered, let's get to the names. We have the CEO to Green Music Australia in Australia, Tim Hollow. We have the CEO to Kimberly Clark Group Corp in the US, Thomas Falk. Resigned was replaced by Mikhail Sue. We have the CEO and president to Delta Dental of California in the US, Tony Barth, was fired after discovering he had engaged in and failed to report a consensual relationship with a subordinate. We have the VR development lead from Facebook in the US, Brendan E. Ride. We have the chairman to Virgin Hyperloop One in the US, Richard Branson. We have the city commissioner to Lakeland City Hall Commission in Florida, Michael Dunn. Resigned that Friday, on that Friday, Dunn was arrested on a second-degree murder for shooting a shoplifter to death at the store he owns in South Florida Avenue earlier that month. With the head of corporate development to Uber in the U.S., Cameron Poetscher, less than 1 month after the Wall Street Journal reported allegations of sexual misconduct, he resigned. We have the CEO to Oregon Potato Commission in the U.S., Bill Brewer, retired. We have a director to Code Agriculture Holdings Limited in China, Chen Wai-kyung Richard. We have the CFO to HealthStream Inc. in the U.S., Gerard Hayden. We have the CEO to U.S. Soccer Federation in the U.S., Dan Flynn. We have the CEO to Truth Agency in the U.K., Mary Keane Dawson. We have a director to Henrico Economic Development Authority in the U.S., Gary McLaren, retired. We have the CFO to Team 17 in the U.K., Paul Bray, retired, replaced by Joe Jones. We have the CEO to Svenska Handelsbanken in Sweden, Anders Bowman, retired. We have the president to Indy 11 in Indiana, Jeff Belskis. We have the president to the Walt Disney Company in the U.S., Ed Catmull, retired. And he was also the president to Pixar Animation Studios, same reason. We have the CEO to Southeastern Ohio Regional Medical in Ohio, Ray Chori, retired. We have these 3 members of the Parliament, pause if you need to read them, to the Commons Reference Group in Representation and Inclusion to the UK. All 3 resigned in the wake of a damning report in the failures of parliamentary leaders to tackle bullying and harassment of staff. We have the Cabinet Secretary to Cabinet of the United Kingdom in the UK, Jeremy Haywood. And Jeremy Haywood was also the head of civil service in the UK, resigned from that too. We have the CEO to Datto Inc. in the US, Austin McCord, resigned, was replaced by Tim Weller. We have the CEO and president to Altimmune Inc. in the US, Bill Enright. We have the CEO to Class Limited in Australia, Kevin Bungard. We have the chairman to Sensign Health in the UK, John Bell. We have the CEO to Connolly Memorial Medical Center in Texas, Jeremy Riney. We have the CFO and VP to Cadman Holdings Inc. in the US. We have the CFO to Northam Platinum Limited in South Africa, Ayunda Kumalo. Resigned, was replaced by Aletta Coetzee. We have the head to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission in the U.S., Kevin McIntyre, resigned, citing ongoing health issues. We have the senior privacy expert to Sidewalk Labs in Canada, Anne Kovikian. Google Smart City Project, Alphabet Inc. subsidiary, over concerns that she resigned from that because that's what Sidewalk Labs is. It is a subsidiary of Alphabet Inc. Sometimes these notes confuse me of how they're written. Over concerns that the treasure trove of data collected in the 40 million Smart City project could identify individuals and leave them open to a cyber attack. Sometimes I miss it in my proofreading. Anyway, the rector to the St. Wilford of York Church in California, Michael D. Archer, confessed that he used church funds for personal use. We have the interim CEO to San Antonio for growth on the east side in Texas, Akeem Brown. We have the president to the Ethiopian government, Ethiopia, Mulatu Teshomi, resigned after a political cabinet reshuffle by Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. We have the chief of staff to the West Lincoln Memorial Hospital in Canada, Gary Benson. We have the CEO to D'Amico International Shipping SA in Luxembourg, Marco Fiore. We have the dean to Harvard University Graduate School of Design in Massachusetts, Mohsin Mustafavi. We have the CEO to Australian Marketing Institute in Australia, Lee Tonito. We have the CFO to Lloyds Banking Group PLC in the UK, George Colmer, retired and was replaced by William Chalmers. We have the host of NBC in the US, Megyn Kelly. She was fired, made comments about the acceptability of blackface. We have the CEO to Uda City in the US, Vishal M. We have the CEO to Banco do Brasil in Brazil, Paulo Rogério Caffarelli, resigned and went off to be CEO at Cielo SA. We have the CEO and president of PriceSmart Inc. in the US, Jose Luis Laparte, resigned, quote, by mutual agreement. We have a chairman and we have the commissioner to McKeown Police and Fire Commission in Wisconsin. They both failed to uphold the oath by meeting in private with a police chief candidate. We have the president to the University of North Carolina System in the U.S., Margaret Spellings, served as education secretary under George W. Bush, as a side note. We have the CEO to Johnson County Healthcare Center in Wyoming, Nicole Hobbs. We have the CEO to Allied Irish Banks in Ireland, Bernard Byrne, resigned and went off to work for the Davy Group and was replaced by Colin Hunt. We have the chairman to Diamond Bank PLC in Nigeria. And we also have these three directors. Pause if you need to read their names. We have the CEO to Flex Limited in Singapore, Michael M. McNamara. So we have the CTO to Velocity Composites PLC in the UK, Jonathan Bridges. We have the CEO and director to Challenger Corporation in the US, Brian Benari, retired. We have the CEO to Electoral Commission in the UK, Claire Bassett, resigned following a series of claims that the body had been biased against Brexit. We have the Minister of the Interior to the Albanian government, Albania, Fatimir X. We have the CEO to Zap Group in Israel, Ilan T. We have the head to Kreislich Democrat to the CDU in Germany, Angela Merkel. Her term ended and was replaced by Annegret Kramp-Karrenbauer. And her term ended as the chancellor to the German government. We have the CFO to NXT Energy Solutions Inc. in Canada, Jakub Bogrovsky. We have the CEO and chairman of City National Bank in Canada, Russell Goldsmith, resigned as replaced by Kelly Coffey. We have the CEO and chairman of Red Arrow Studios in Germany, Jan Frauman, term ended. We have the CEO and chairman of Brunswick Corporation in the U.S., Mark D. Schwabero, retired. We have the chairman to Vodafone in Spain, Francisco Roman, and he was also the chairman to Fundación Vodafone España in Spain. We have the CFO to Horizon Global Corporation in the U.S., David Rice. We have the chief to Elkin Fire Department in North Carolina, Matthew Crawford. We have the chairman and director to Get Holdings Limited in China, Peng Kai Choi Piami. We have the assistant chief to the LA Police Department in California, Jorge A. Villagas, retired. We have the CEO to Sanibel Captiva Conservation Foundation in the U.S., Eric Lindblad. We have the CEO to Hyundai Motor America in the U.S., Kyung-Soo Lee, resigned and left his position after a little more than a year as the automaker shuffles several executives company-wide. We have the CEO to Millennium Bolt Terminals in the U.S., Bill Chapman, retired. We have the CEO, President, and Director, all one person, to American International Holdings Corp. In the U.S., Robert Holden. We have the CEO to Chimera Corporation in the U.S., Nathan Kunst. We have the CEO to Softtech in the U.S., Ann Coulter. Not that same Ann Coulter. Check the picture. They don't look the same. We have the CEO and President to Second Harvest Food Bank of Middle Tennessee in the U.S., Janie Day. We have the CEO and President to New Balance Athletics Inc. in the U.S., Rob DeMartini. We have the Dean of Broadcast Research Mavens, the CBS in the U.S., David Poltrak, retired and was replaced by Joe Preston. We have the CEO to RGA in the U.S., Bob Greenberg. We have the CEO and Director to National Institute of Dramatic Art, also known as NIDA in Australia, Kate Cherry. We have the CEO to Think Factory Media in the U.S., Leslie Grief, resigned and was replaced by Adam Reed. We have the co-CEO to VM Software in Switzerland, Peter McKay, resigned amid an executive team reorganization. We have the CEO and President to Schneider National in the U.S., Chris Lofgren, retired and was replaced by Mark Rourke. We have a Director to Guyana Goldfields Inc. in Canada, Patrick Sheridan Jr. We have the Religious Affairs Minister to the Israeli government, Israel, David Azoulay, died at the age of 64 following a months-long battle with cancer. We have the CEO and President to Goodwill Central Texas in the U.S., Jerry Davis. We have the Chairman to Smurfit Kappa Group PLC in Ireland, Liam O'Mahony, retired and is replaced by Irial Fanan. We have a Director, ex-Research, to Alphabet Inc. in the U.S., Rich Duvall, resigned after harassment allegations. With the COO and President to American Queen Steamboat Company in the U.S., Ted Sykes. We have the President to Vice Media in the U.S., Andrew Creighton, resigned after sexual harassment accusation. We have Chairman and Director to Zespri International Limited in New Zealand, Peter McBride, retired. With the CEO to GN Store Nord AS in Denmark, Anders Hedegaard, resigned and went off to be CEO at another company. Don't have the info on what company that is. We have the NATO Police Chief to the U.S. Defense Department in the U.S., Thomas W. Goffus. For the CEO and President to United Way of Greater Cincinnati in Ohio, Michael Johnson, resigned after claims of threats and returns back to his old position. He went off to be CEO at Boys and Girls Club of Dane County. We have the editor to John Brown Media in the UK, William Sitwell, resigned after remarks about, quote, killing vegans and, quote, force-feeding them meat. We have a director to Seattle Art Museum in Washington, Kimberly Rorschach, retired. We have the CEO to Sun Times Media Corp. In the U.S., Edwin Eisendrath. We have the Senior VP to Faraday Future in the U.S., Nick Sampson. We have the Food, Agriculture, and Light Industry Minister to the Mongolian government in Mongolia, BB, resigned due to a scandal involving financial irregularities. With the CEO and Chairman of Legacy Reserves Inc. in the U.S., Paul T. Horn, retired. With the COO and President to Ferring Pharmaceuticals in Switzerland, Michael Pettigrew, retired. With the CEO to Black Hills Corporation in the U.S., David Emery, retired. He will stay on as the Executive Chairman of the Board to that company through May of 2020. With the CEO and President to Allegheny Valley Hospital in Pennsylvania, Bill Englert, retired. With the CEO and President to Catholic Health Association in the U.S., Carol Keehan, retired. With the CEO and President to North Texas Public Broadcasting in CARA in the U.S., Mary Ann Aladef, retired. We have the CEO and President to Signify in the Netherlands, Michael Gentile, retired. We have the President, Treasurer, Director, and Secretary, all one person, to Soldino Group Corp. In Italy, Aurora Fiorin. We have the Member of Parliament to the UK, Kate Osamore, resigned after being convicted of possessing Class A drugs with intent to supply. And we have the Chairman to Nigerian Aviation Handling Company, PLC, in Nigeria, Ark Usman Aribai Bello. So that's it. Don't forget, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's a new week until we catch up. And also, in real life news for the next Resignation show, March 31st. That's this weekend. And as always, if you like my content, go ahead. Please share because sharing's caring. And if you haven't already, go ahead, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so that way YouTube has no choice of what kind of content of mine you get to see. I hope you liked it. I love you all. God bless you all. This is Red Pill McKenzie.